Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy New Week. Up here in Queensland, we're starting 1 hour earlier, which we only realised about an hour ago with Mo. This is Moana Robinson, who is in this area where I'm at now, and I'm wearing your signature colour, Mo.
Is that?
Did you actually notice that we were going to match?
Of course I did.
Looked at my wardrobe and I was like, Mo wears that color. I bet you she's going to wear that color today. So I'm going to do it to match her and all that. And as you can see there behind Mo is a book that's been out now. Has it been a couple of years?
Yes, it was published December 2019.
So it's coming up to 2 years, which is awesome. You and I met probably about 2.5 years ago, and we've kind of hung out quite a bit now that I'm on the Gold Coast more often. So that's amazing. So guys, we're in for a treat today because Mo is actually also writing her second book, Teddy's Revenge, which you're going to tell us a little bit. See how that all matches. You know, you can see it behind you. Let me show you the first book that she did on the screen. So you can get an idea. It's a bit closer up. So it's called Be Styled for Life, Living with Sass and Style Over 50. So this is her first book, and the second one is on its way. And we can see it there in the background there. I love it. I love it. And you're going to tell us what all of that is about. But today's discussion is about Sass and Style, how it helps through challenging times. So I'll give you Moana's official introduction, and then we'll get into the discussions. So Moana Robinson has a mission to empower others to glow from the inside out. As an mBIT coach, NLP practitioner, hypnotherapist, life coach, and personal stylist, she uses her skills to take women on a journey to discover their best life and style. So she's a #1 Amazon best-selling author of Be Styled for Life, Living with Sass and Style Over 50. And currently here she's writing her second book about overcoming challenges. Moana loves to support women over 40 discover their true colors, style, and inside beauty to look, feel, and be the best they can be. So I've had a bit of an experience. I'm actually coming from a very personal experience. I also worked with Moana as a stylist last year, just as we came up to the Gold Coast house, and she did all of this whiz bang assessments and working out what is it, style personality, is that what you call it?
Yep, style personality and your colors. Yep.
Yeah, we did all of that, and then we went shopping and all of that sort of stuff. And I know she's a lot more than just pick out clothes and choose colors, because what's really important for you is how people feel on the inside. And that's why all of those qualifications of life coaching, hypnotherapy, and I know you're always adding on to your skill set. So tell me a little bit maybe about that, and where did this passion start to kind of blend the two?
The passion for the inside started when I was doing my online program, which is on my website. Yeah. And when I was doing some videos for the online program, the guy that was helping me with the videos said, have you ever thought about life coaching? Because you actually do coaching as you're doing the styling. And I've always loved personal development. So I went and did a life coaching course, and then I went and completed the whole diploma. And then I did the advanced diploma, did my master's in life coaching. I loved the hypnotherapy, and I was just fascinated by it all. So it all started quite a few years ago when I did my life coaching, and that came about from other life events as well. So, and I think when you go through traumatic life events yourself, it helps you to have empathy and help other people.
Yeah, I so believe that. So did you end up at life coaching because of a traumatic event?
Yes, I had back surgery, and I went to Cyprus for back surgery. And it was when I was recovering in Cyprus that I sort of put everything together, and I thought, well, I really want to study coaching and help other people. And it sort of really brought home to me that life is short, and you don't know what health crisis is going to hit you, or any other life event is going to hit you, and to make the most of every day. And I'd always had a burning desire to formalize my personal development and help other people. So I thought, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, the reason I asked is because that's how I ended up at life coaching, because of that shit hit the fan moment, or something happens, and and you need to kind of first help yourself first before you could help other people. And that's what you've been doing. So how does then style, like the styling component of it, how do they like complement each other? Like what do you find happens when you work with people, with women?
It's almost like a light bulb goes on, switches on.
Yeah.
I've held sessions for like in offices, at workplaces, and even the really young ones, they can't see it until they see the color, the change in their skin. They see the change in their skin when they're wearing the right colors, and it's almost like an aha moment, and they just go, wow, color makes such a big difference. If you can imagine me wearing browns and warm rusty sort of colors, it just wouldn't look right. If I hadn't got much in the way of warm colors around me, it just wouldn't look right, and straight away it would make my skin look dull, dull, muddy looking. And by the same token, if someone has got warm coloring and you put the cool colors against them, it doesn't look right either. So I've just got a real eye for that, and just love helping people with their colors, because there's color psychology that has such an impact on how you feel as well and how you look.
Yeah, I love that, because I mean, you had quite a few assessment things that you had to fill out. It was like a bit of homework to do before you get on with it. And the beautiful thing was also a lot of what you do can happen online, because I was in quarantine when we were doing all the assessments, and you got me to take photos of myself, and then, closer ones, your eye color as well, and all that sort of stuff. So we actually did all the pre-work and everything. We just then went shopping. The rest of it was like, just hanging out together shopping. But it's awesome that, so you do work with people online, to do this work and pick their colors, which some people might go, how does that even work?
Well, I've got two to do today, actually, 2 online ones to do today.
Yeah.
So it's really good, because it sort of it really does depend on the quality of photos that people send. And you were great too. You got right into it, which I knew that you would.
Yeah.
If they don't send a photo that's good enough quality, where there are a lot of shadows on the face, I do ask them to take better photos. But it's worth it, and they're sort of invested in the process, and it's all about the person, it's all about them. So it's really interesting, and you learn a lot when you're doing it yourself as well.
And what kind of conversations then come up with like you say, you work on the inside as well, so what do you find are some of the common blocks that women over 40 have that comes up as you guys are doing this work?
So many different things come up, because I deal with so many different personalities. Usually the most common thing I have is most women say, I just wear black because I don't know what else to wear. And I've been through that too. When my kids were young, black was easy, it was classic, and luckily I could wear black because I suited black. But some people just wear black because they don't know what else to wear. So and they just feel lost. They spend so much time looking after other people or working on their career or their business. I help a lot of women who are public speakers, or who have very busy careers, and they just have spent so much time developing their career or working on their business that they put themselves on the back burner. And they really, it annoys them that they spend so much time deciding what to wear, but at the same time they don't devote the time to sort of do anything about it. So this is where I can come in and help them very quickly.
And then you have a choice of all of these outfits that you can have, and then you can stop thinking. So for a short period of time to get organized and get the assessments done and get out there and get some stuff that you need to make a suitable, a signature workshop wardrobe, if you like, for yourself, I think it's worthwhile the time and the money to invest, and then you're like kind of set for quite a while. Because do colors change? Like, do people change in their color, suitability over time?
Yep, they can do. Usually every 10 years, and it depends. Like, I've gone from almost your hair color to this color. So I did have a change in color swatch. So I went from but I was still cool coloring, and the main thing that changes is the contrast. So the contrast level. So if you think of black and white, that's really high contrast.
Yeah.
But if you think of black and grey, then that's not so much of a high contrast. So my contrast was more muted compared to, like, yours is a very dramatic or high contrast.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main things that change as we get older. If people change their hair color. Yeah. It's one of the things that can change.
We talked about that as well, like what hair color would suit you, you know, and, you know, that's why I think also part of the eye color things and all that. So if someone was to read Be Styled for Life, what would they get out of it?
The first part of Be Styled for Life is to do with the inside. So I've divided it into two parts, the inside and the outside. The first part is all about life experience. It's about relationships. It's about developing yourself, having confidence, just really good life tips that were just from me personally. And then the second part is the more practical aspects of styling.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the book evolved. I just sort of spoke about my life experience and a few things that I went through, which I touched on. In my second book, I'm going into that a bit deeper. Yeah. But it's all about developing wisdom. And because it's sort of targeted for women over 50, I'm talking about the wisdom years, because I feel that as we get older, you do get a bit wiser just through experience.
Yeah, I agree. And so then how did that, you know, obviously the process has evolved and now you're working with women and helping them and all that sort of stuff. So how did that now evolve into the second book, Teddy's Revenge? And what's, you know, what's that one about?
Teddy's Revenge is a book that came about after I went through quite a traumatic time at the beginning of this year. So from January until just a couple of weeks ago, I think I've had 7 surgeries.
Yeah.
So, and it was just like, you know, life just hit me, boom, 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 and just all these events that happened. And Teddy's Revenge is a kind of a light-hearted look at how you can get through challenges just with that. And I was actually reading the other day about, I think it's called Sifu. The Finnish people are some of the happiest people in the world, but they've got this thing called Sifu, which means to be stoic and keep on going and be resilient and just, you know, get through things because you know that you can come out the other side. Yeah. So Teddy's Revenge it's a story and it kind of goes back and it's sort of talking about how I've got through some of the challenges in life.
Yeah, I love that because we have watched it. I mean, I've had a closer, you know, account of what was going on the last 7 or 8 months, and you know, it's just been, you know, a lot of people would comment, you know, how are you still going out there and doing your networking and doing all of these things, but because you didn't stop and you always look amazing. People almost would say, oh, she's, you know, she's looking, you know, perfect. You know what I mean? Like aside from, you know, when your arm was wrapped in a cast and all that kind of stuff. But even that, then you chose like a special, like a specific color, so it would match everything and all that sort of stuff. So
and I've just had the steel plate taken out now, so I'm pleased my scar's getting a bit better. But even, like, I was in hospital in February and almost died twice. So that's, you know, it was pretty traumatic. But even then, it gave me a boost. The nurses said they thought I was 40 and not 60. So, but no, it's been an experience, but I just feel like I've come out the other side and I appreciate life even more now. So
what do you say to yourself for those people who might have been through something similar or maybe going in the middle of it? So what do you say to yourself to, you know, kind of keep going and, you know, to remain in a great mindset?
I think the way that I got through it was partly from my coaching. Actually, I sort of did self-coach myself. Yeah. And at the time I was working with some other coaches, and through all of the month of September I've been working on a program called Loving Your Life. There's a book called Loving Your Life by Grant Suselu.
Yeah.
And having that 30 minutes every day is really, it's just amazing. It's life transforming. And we're running another program in November open to the public. We had this one open just for coaches.
This went for 30 days, yeah?
Yeah, 30 days, 30 minutes. And we ran it for other mBIT coaches. mBIT stands for multiple brain integration techniques.
Yes.
And it's talking about the head, the heart, and the gut, which are all connected. And I really believe that helped me. The mBIT coaching helped me through that time in February, March, and April. So it's, and also SASS, like SASS to me, SASS in style, SASS stands for self-awareness. So it's really getting to know yourself and self-sufficiency. So taking responsibility for yourself, being self-sufficient, and having the tools to be able to deal with anything that life throws at you. And that doesn't mean not asking for help or asking for support when you need to, but being self-sufficient in the way that we've all got everything we need inside of ourselves. Yeah. And it's just really knowing how to tap into that wisdom that we've already got. Yeah.
What's the one thing that you love seeing when you are working with people, you know, whether it's through coaching or the styling or both combined? What's the one thing that you love seeing?
I love seeing something that people have learned about themselves that they didn't realize before. To me, that's really exciting.
So the light bulb moment that, you know, when
the light bulb moment, because that's all you need sometimes. You know, people talk about being stuck in a style rut or not having confidence or not being happy. And sometimes it's just a tiny little thing that they realize, and then it just grows into something bigger. It grows into something bigger because once they discover some small things about themselves, it's almost like planting a seed and watering that seed. And it's, you know, part of life's journey to keep on watering those seeds and learning more and more about yourself. And by learning about yourself, you learn about other people as well.
Yeah. And if you feel like you find alignment and you're happy within yourself, you see that filtered through in other areas of your life, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The relationships with other people. If you're a business owner, you see that in your business, because I don't think we're too dissimilar. We don't operate at different. I think if you're happy in your life, you'll be happy in your business, and you'll be happy. You'll generally look after your health and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, and if something, I guess, not as nice happens, it can affect, again, the snowball effect happens the other way around, where it can really strain how you're performing in other areas in your life.
Yeah, and something that did help me was I thought of that saying when I was in ICU, I remembered that saying, if you're going through hell, keep going, don't stop, keep going.
Yeah.
And it's if you stop, you know, and it's okay to sort of feel the effects of something bad happening. Everybody has bad things happen, but it's really making sure that you keep going and know that things will get better on the other side, to just keep going.
Yeah, don't stop and dwell in there and sit in the, you know, as we say, in the little cave of misery or whatever it is.
Yeah, don't camp out there. Don't
camp out. Then set up a couch and a TV and you know what I mean? I remember a book that I read years ago, and this was one of the books that gave me that light bulb moment. It was called There Are Two Times in Life, Now and Too Late. And it was written by Terry Hawkins, and she had Pitman and Stickman as the characters, and Pitman lived in this little pit of misery, and he had set up a couch and made himself really comfortable there. And then it was basically a metaphor for, you know, what you're saying about hell, like, you know, just keep going, because we know there's always ultimately equilibrium in life. You're going to have your fair share of crappy times, but then you're going to have your fair share of amazing times as well. And no matter what, one or the other is guaranteed, you know, at some point. So that's amazing. Like, I think those are really good tips around. And if anyone has not qualified as a coach, definitely I say working with one, you know, to sort of unravel a bit about yourself, and then you can as you say, self-coach yourself. I mean, I used to invest in a coach for the first few years of my journey, and then while I was studying it and fine-tuning my skills. But then, as you say, when shit hits the fan on various levels, you kind of stop and you know what questions you kind of need to ask yourself. You don't need the facilitation from someone else. But sometimes it is nice to have an external viewpoint, because we all often can be really stuck in our little kind of the way we're feeling about a situation.
Oh, definitely. And I think as well as a coach, you can have a mentor. And the difference between a coach and a mentor is a mentor, like I think of you as my mentor when it comes to writing and a whole lot of other things as well.
Yeah.
But it's someone who's been there before, and you've kind of follow in their footsteps. A coach really asks very powerful questions and shines the light so that you can see inside yourself what the answers are. A mentor can really be anyone. It could be your next door neighbor, it could be your mum or your sister or your best friend. Quite often I'll go for a walk with a friend, and we sort of solve all the problems of the world while we're walking, and just or you'll have a friend and you can just do like a little 5-minute misery dump for a couple, or 2-minute misery dump for a couple of minutes, and then that's it. Everything else is positive after that. So the mentors come in all different forms. Coaching, I really do feel is one of the best investments that you can make in your life. And if you don't have coaching, sometimes you come to a crisis, and then you get some coaching, and that can change your life around as well.
Yeah, I mean, they say it gets you from A to B the fastest way possible. And often people can miss what one or the other is, or even then there's a consultant, you know what I mean? So there's the coach, the mentor, and the consultant. So they all have different kind of roles. And I think we need a bit of all of those.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's important to remember the difference between a coach and a mentor and a consultant, because they all are quite different. And it's one of the things I had to learn when being a coach was to not give advice, just to make sure I ask the right questions. And one of the main things a coach can do is to hold space for someone, to really hold that sacred, private, confidential space so that people feel safe and they can trust you.
Yeah, amazing. Let me, I think there was a comment here. Kim says, lovely to be listening today. We all get a lift up having an inspirational person. Mine as a mum was always Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah, I love Mary Poppins.
I love it. And Sandy's watching from Toronto. Great points. Yeah, totally. And I mean, I know you get coached yourself, and that's one thing I also say, especially for everyone who might be coaches listening to this, or growing a business in that industry. If you're not getting coached yourself, don't expect that people are going to hire you as their coach. I think you need to walk your talk, and you need to if you believe in it that much, you would be doing it, which is what I've always said. If you go ahead.
Well, I actually went through a really tough time after I started my coaching diploma, and I actually went to see a psychologist, and I just said, I feel so bad. I feel a failure as a coach because I feel like I'm a mess. And he said to me, Moana, if I needed a coach, I would go to someone like you, because I don't trust a coach that is perfect and says life is perfect and they don't need any help and they don't go to anyone. He said to me, if he needed a coach, he would come to me. So you can't be self-contained. It's really important to do the work on yourself, to walk the talk.
That you're encouraging others to do on themselves,
we're all human, we're human beings. Or as Grant Susselu says, or he didn't, that wasn't his original quote, but I can't think of the guy's, Humberto, I can't think of his name at the moment, but we are human becomings, not human beings. So, and that's one of the quotes that really resonates with me as well. We are all human becomings. Developing.
I love that. I love that. So let's talk about now the process of you writing these books. Actually, I'd like to talk about like how was it going? Book one, you kind of went through the whole retreat and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then book two, you attempted through a publishing package. And then I sort of suggested, I think you should come back to a retreat and, get that jump start of the process. So talk to me a little bit about how you found writing and accountability and all that doing 48-Hour Author.
Yep. Well, I signed up to write my second book. I knew that I wanted to write a second book. So I bought the publishing package, and then I was going to do just a complete styling book, or a business book. And then everything happened this year. And with all the trauma that happened, I actually lost my voice, and then I broke my wrist. And so I couldn't dictate the book, and I couldn't type very well. And I thought, I need some help here. I need some inspiration, and I need the support of going to a retreat. So that was my first global retreat. The first retreat I went to when I wrote Be Styled for Life, Living with Sass and Style Over 50, that was in Melbourne. That was fantastic. I found the virtual retreat really good as well. Like it was different, but it was just as good, probably in a way even better.
Yeah, well, my experience has been, like yesterday I was catching up with Francesca, and she was talking about, once things open up, you're going to go on tours and do all that, the stuff we used to do. And I said, actually, no, because I said, hand on heart, the virtual retreats have been more effective because people have actually been more focused on getting the writing done and not distracted by the fun and the socialization, social activities we would have at a real life retreat. And as much as that's a wonderful, memorable experience, I said, I want the results for my clients and I want them to get them faster. And so thus why I wouldn't go back. Yes, I might create an annual conference where we all can come together and do that over 2 or 3 days where we're, learning throughout the day and then socializing at night and all that kind of stuff. But I said the model actually has proven to be more effective, even though I didn't believe before COVID that I could go online full time. So that's good to hear, because you're a person who's attended a real life retreat and a virtual retreat. And so when can people expect Teddy's Revenge approximately?
Teddy's Revenge, I'm still writing at the moment. And like the first book I published within 4 months of attending retreat. This one is taking a little bit longer, only because I've, had the wrist surgery and just had a few obstacles in the way. But I'm hoping by January next year, it will be in the hands of people who have already ordered it.
Yeah.
So I've had some orders from overseas. Some people from America have ordered it, and from Ireland.
That's awesome.
So, and
they're waiting. So now you have to fulfill your promise, right? The pre-launch at retreat does really put a rocket up your bum. Yeah.
It does, because you've made that promise to people, and you've declared that you're writing it, and you've been paid for those books already. So I've got to get cracking and get it done.
Yeah, I love that. And it's your birthday week this week, yeah?
It is, yes. And I like to say I'm 50 plus GST in a bit.
I love that. Well, I'm coming along to the celebrations this Saturday. So have an amazing week. So people can get your books on your website, which is bestyledforlife.com.au.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
We're going to post all those below. But yeah, B is just B as in the letter and styledforlife.com.au. Just in case anyone's listening to an audio of this interview, which also happens as well. I love that. Yeah, and also the books the first book is already on Amazon and all your online resellers. But if you want to directly from Mo and check out actually her online course and some of the things that she has been doing over the years, definitely. And I highly recommend it, because I highly recommend the color consultation and your online styling, kind of package that you do, because I've done it myself and I would not recommend that. I've worked with probably 4 stylists over the last 10 years, and no one was as detailed and as kind of almost like, my experience was you had great systems, you were very organized, Whereas a lot of the time, like I would like say go to a person that was a stylist and like kind of there was no pre-work, there was nothing like that. It was just kind of happened in the moment. Whereas I thought, oh, this is like quite scientific and, you know, interesting, you know, because it was like about me finding out also a little bit about myself as I was going through some of the questions, you know, which is really.
It's an education, because I want my clients to feel, you know, that they're not reliant on me. They can always contact me afterwards, and it's quite a few times they'll take a photo of something and send it to me and say, oh, what do you think about this top or something?
Yeah,
I really want them to have that confidence in themselves, and they get that by learning about themselves, and they learn through the process.
Yeah, well, definitely it's an educational process. It's not just an expert going there and doing stuff and then you don't know. I know I've got my color swatch so I can match things and you know, find stuff up. And but definitely the online version, if someone can't go shopping with you as well, which is what I enjoyed as well. But I think that whole just getting it done and then being able to go on your own and do the shopping is wonderful. So thank you so much for sharing some of your wisdom and gold nuggets. Of course, go get the book, guys. You know, and then the next one, I'm sure it's on pre-release also on the website, Teddy's Revenge. Teddy's Moana's little puppy, and there's a whole reason why it was called that, because there's a key story of what unfolded. So yeah, I'll keep you curious, so you would read the book. But have an amazing week. I'm going to see you on Saturday for birthday celebrations, and keep smashing it out and helping all these women.
Thank you.
See you, Mo. All right, bye guys.